Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. Today we're going to recap yesterday's NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball, WNBA, UEFA, Euro, and College World Series games. Look ahead to everything going on today. I'll do my second MLB mock draft. I'll recap the NBA draft lottery from last night. We'll go over the latest news and notes and my best bet of the day. We will start with the NBA playoffs, where it was Western Conference Final Game 2, a classic of a finish. Suns over the Clippers 104-103 to take a 2-0 series lead, courtesy of a last-second alley-oop from Jay Crowder to DeAndre Ayton. Cam Payne led the Suns in scoring, by the way, with 29 points and 9 assists. Paul George 26-6 for the Clips, as the Suns go up 2-0 and win their 9th straight postseason game, because they won 3 in a row, then 4 in a row, and then 2 in this series. And then now, tonight at 8:30 on TNT, you have the Hawks and the Bucks, Game 1. My projections for this game are Bucks by 6, total 227. That's counting home court advantage. And FanDuel has this at 8 and 226. So I'm going to take the Hawks in the 8. The Bucks have not impressed me very much. I do think they'll win the series in 7 games, as I said on the podcast on Monday. But I think that 8 is too big of a number. And the Hawks have really been really feisty in these games. And the irony is that they were a smaller dog against Philly than Milwaukee, which is bizarre to me. So give me the Hawks plus the 8 against the Bucks for tonight. All right, Stanley Cup playoffs. One game last night. It was the Western Conference Finals game number 5. And the Canadiens came out on top by a score of 4-1 as they take a 3-2 series lead. The number 3 started game with a goal, Max Pacioretty. Number 2 started game with a goal and 2 assists, Nick Suzuki. And the number 1 started game with 26 saves on 27 shots, Carey Price, who's been the best player in this series so far. And then tonight is game number 6 between the Lightning and the Islanders, 8 o'clock on NBCSN. Big game from Nassau Coliseum. Could be the last game at Nassau Coliseum, potentially. Islanders are a plus 128 dog. Tampa's minus 152, over under 5.5. Overs plus 128, unders minus 158. Tampa minus 1.5 is plus 188. Islanders plus 1.5 is minus 230. A lot of low-scoring games in the postseason. I just think that the Lightning are the better team, and I think they should be the favorites to win the Cup. They've just been spectacular. Maybe I'm just judging them on Game 5. But they look like the best team at the moment. I'm taking them to win in regulation, plus 105 to close this baby out and to send the Islanders packing. All right, now we'll move on to Major League Baseball, as we will go over the games from yesterday, and we will look ahead to the games for tonight and today. Reds over the Twins 10-7. The Reds 36-36. The Twins are 31-42. Royals over the Yankees 6-5. The Royals are 33-38. Yankees are 38-34. Pirates over the White Sox 6-3. The Pirates are 26-45. Chicago's 43-30. Astros over the Orioles 3-1. The Astros are 45-28. Baltimore's 23-50. Nationals over the Phillies 3-2. Nats are 34-36. Phillies 34-36. Braves over the Mets 3-0. The Braves are 35-37. Mets are 37-31. Red Sox over the Rays 9-5-11 on a go-ahead double by Rafael Devers. And then they put on a couple more runs after that. Boston's 44-29. Tampa's 43-31. Tigers over the Cardinals 8-2. The Tigers are 31-42. St. Louis is 36-37. So the Cardinals are under 500. Blue Jays over the Marlins 2-1. The Blue Jays are 36-35. Miami's 31-41. Cubs over the Indians 7-1. The Cubs are 41-33. Cleveland's 40-31. A's over the Rangers 13-6. Oakland's 45-30. Texas is 26-47. Giants over the Angels 5-0. The Giants are 47-26. Angels are 36-37. Brewers over the Diamondbacks 5-0. The Brewers are 41-33. Arizona's 21-54. Padres over the Dodgers 3-2. The Padres are 44-32, and the Dodgers are 44-29. Mariners over the Rockies 2-1. Mariners are 39-36. Colorado's 30-44. So best bet, a loser again. All right. Today's games: 12:30, the White Sox and the Pirates. Dylan Cease and Chase DeYoung. The White Sox are -172. Pittsburgh's +144. Over under 8. Overs -120. Unders -102. White Sox -1/2 is -108. Pirates +1/2 is -111. I'm going White Sox -1/2 and -108. 1 o'clock, the Nationals and the Phillies. Eric Feed and Vince Velasquez. The Phillies are -112. The Nats are -104 over under 9. Overs -104. Unders -118. Nats -1/2 is +155. Phillies +1/2 is -192. I'm going to go Nationals -104 against Philadelphia. Cardinals Tigers. John Gant and Matt Manning. Cardinals -124. Tigers +106. Over under 9.5. Overs -104. Unders -118. Cardinals -1/2 is +122. Tigers +1/2 is -146. I'm going to go with the dog here at the Tigers. The Cardinals look like a team that is about to implode if they haven't already. So I'm going with the Tigers +106. 3:30, Brewers Diamondbacks. Brandon Woodruff and Caleb Smith. Brewers -184. Diamondbacks +154. Over under 7.5. Overs -115. Unders -105. Brewers -1/2 is -110. Diamondbacks +1/2 is -110. I'm going to go. I thought about the under, but I'm going to go Brewers -1/2 at -110. 4 o'clock, the Giants and the Angels. Kevin Gausman and Shohei Ohtani. The Angels are -104. The Giants are -112. Over under 8. -110 each way. Giants -1/2 is +155. Angels +1/2 is -188. Wrong team's favored. The better pitcher is Shohei Ohtani. AL MVP favorite. Going with the Angels at home against the Giants. The disrespect of Shohei Ohtani and the respect of Kevin Gausman. It's not even close who's better. Shohei Ohtani is better than Kevin Gausman. Period. End of story. As good as Gausman's been this year. Rockies Mariners. Herman Marquez and Justice Sheffield. Rockies -110. Mariners -106. Over under 8.5. Overs -106. Unders -114. Rockies -1/2 is +146. Mariners +1/2 is -176. I'm going to go over 8.5 and -106. 7 o'clock, the Royals and the Yankees. Danny Duffing and Michael King. Yankees -174. Royals +146. Over under 9.5. Overs -115. Unders -105. Royals +1/2 is -126. Yankees -1/2 is +105. I'm going under 9.5 and -105. I think it'll be a lower scoring game. Danny Duffy's been really good this year. That'd be a good underdog pick, the +146. But I don't trust the Royals bullpen. The Yankees should have won last night. I think that the Yankees handed that game to the Royals more than the Royals won that game. So I'm going to go under 9.5 instead. Astros Orioles. Jose Urquidy and Thomas Eshelman. I don't see any lines. Oh, never mind. Astros -196. Orioles +164. Over under 10. Overs -108. Unders -112. Astros -1/2 is -118. Orioles +1/2 is -102. I'm going to go Astros -1/2 at the heavy number at -118. Braves Mets, Kyle Wright and Tyler McGill. McGill making his season debut. No lines posted yet. But maybe I'll look at the over if it's anything lower than 9. Red Sox Rays, Garrett Richards and Rich Hill. Rays minus 148. Red Sox plus 126. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 164. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 136. I'm going to go tough one. Over 8.5 minus 112. I think that the Red Sox offense is going to put up some runs here. Blue Jays Marlins. Robbie Ray and Trevor Rogers. Marlins are a plus 104 dog. Blue Jays are minus 122. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Blue Jays minus 1.5 is plus 142. Miami plus 1.5 is minus 172. I'm going Miami as a home dog, plus 104. It's ridiculous that Trevor Rogers, the disrespect. 8 o'clock. A's Rangers. James Caprillion and Mike Foltynewicz. Oakland's minus 162. Texas is plus 136. Over under 9. Overs minus 102. Unders even money. Oakland minus 1.5 is plus 102. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 122. I'm going Oakland minus 1.5 at plus 102. And last but not least, 10 o'clock on ESPN, the Dodgers and the Padres. Trevor Bauer and Joe Musgrove. Padres are minus 118. Dodgers even money. Over under 7.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Dodgers plus 1.5 is minus 220. Padres minus 1.5 is plus 180. I'm going to go with the Dodgers as an even money underdog. The Dodgers are rarely a dog. I'm taking the Dodgers here as a dog. So a surprising underdog to say the least. Alrighty. Now we'll do WNBA. We will go over the results from yesterday, and we look ahead to today's games. Commissioner's Cup, Sky over to Liberty, 92-72. The Sky, 8-7. Liberty, 7-7. Candace Parker at 23-12. And Benija Laney had 18 for the Liberty. Sun over to Wings, 80-70. The Sun, 9-5. Dallas, 6-8. Brianna Jones had 26 points for Connecticut, and Enrique Angubali had 18 and 5 assists. Mystics over to Storm, 87-83. Good win for Washington. They're 7-6. Seattle's 12-3. Tina Charles has been amazing. 34 points, 16 boards. Maybe the Liberty regret that trade. Maybe. If they had her, they'd be a contender, maybe. Ooh. Can't believe I'm saying that. And Jewel Lloyd, 23 points and 9 assists for Seattle. One game tonight, 7 o'clock, you have the Lynx and the Dream. Both teams are 5-7 at the moment. The Dream have overachieved this year, led by Tiffany Hayes and Courtney Williams. And Minnesota has been led by their normal crew of Nafisa Collier, Sylvia Fulls, and Crystal Dangerfield. Minnesota's better, so I think they'll get the win tonight on the road. All right, now we'll do UEFA from yesterday. And we will look ahead to today's UEFA games. England over Czech Republic, 1-0. The lone goal for England was scored by Raheem Sterling in the 12th minute of the game. And Croatia over Scotland, 3-1. Croatia's goals were scored by Nikola Vlasic in the 17th minute, Luka Modric in the 62nd minute, and Ivan Perisic in the 77th minute. And Colin McGregor's goal was scored in the 42nd minute. 4 games today in UEFA. 12 o'clock on ESPN2 is Sweden and Poland. That is, I want to say that's Group E. Yes, it is. I was right about that. Sweden is 1-0. Poland 1-1. Sweden has already advanced. Spain is the host of Group B. I think that Sweden gets the win here as they are plus 165. Poland's plus 160, weirdly enough, and then the tie's plus 230. I'm going plus 165 with Sweden. 12 o'clock on ESPN is Slovakia and Spain, also Group B. Slovakia 1-0-1, and Spain is 0-2-0. Spain is a minus 600 favorite. Slovakia is 13-1, amazingly enough, and the tie is 6-1. I think Spain's going to win it going away. And then 3 o'clock, you have Portugal and France in Group F play. France 1-1-0. Portugal is 1-0-1. France is plus 115 as a favorite. Portugal's plus 260. And the draw is plus 210. I'm going to go with France here. I think that they're better. And then on ESPN2 at 3 o'clock is Germany and Hungary. Germany's 1-0-1 and Hungary is 0-1-1. Germany's a huge favorite. Hungary is a 13-1 dog, and the draw is 7-1. So I'm gonna go Germany as the 7-1 favorite in that match. Alrighty, now we'll do College World Series, as we will go over those results and we will look ahead to today's games. Texas over Tennessee 8-4 as Texas survives and Tennessee is eliminated, and Mississippi State over Virginia 6-5. And in today's lone game, Stanford Vanderbilt 7 o'clock on ESPN, elimination game. Huge game. It's hard to fathom the idea of Vanderbilt potentially being eliminated. They're so talented. And you would think that today we'll maybe see Cooper Rocker. And obviously the winner of this game gets a rematch game against NC State. And Stanford is a talented team of their own too. They have some very talented players on their team. A good coach in David Esker. And they came in third in the Pac-12. But I just think that Vanderbilt has the better pitching. So I think that they are the team that survives here, and then Stanford is out of the tournament. So that's the lone game tonight in the College World Series. All right, now I'm going to do my MLB mock draft, very fittingly enough, because there's going to be players in the College World Series that will be drafted come July. If I'm not mistaken, the draft, I think, is July 7th or the 6th. So, without further ado, here's my second MLB mock draft. Number 1, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Marcelo Mayer, shortstop, Eastlake High School, California. This time around, the consensus seems to think that Mayer is the guy here for the Buccos. Mayer is somebody that is not perfect, but does just about everything right. Number 2, the Texas Rangers. Jordan Lawler, shortstop, Jesus Prep High School, Texas. The 2A talent, the thought here is that he'll be drafted as a shortstop rather than a pitcher, despite the 2A talent. There are some folks that are comparing him to Carlos Correa about the way he plays. Number 3, the Detroit Tigers. Brady House, shortstop, Windboro High School, Georgia. The Tigers here go with a talented left infielder with House. He has a fabulous arm, and he's been compared to Nolan Arenado and Josh Donaldson, and some feel like is a star in the making. For the Boston Red Sox, Jack Leiter, righty, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt has two really good pitchers going in the top of this draft. And one of them is Jack Leiter, the former pitcher Al Leiter's son. And you can make a case that Leiter is better than his teammate Kumar Rocker. And both of these Vanderbilt pitchers have a shot to go first. Number 5, the Baltimore Orioles, Sal Frelick, outfield, Boston College. This would be a solid pick for the Orioles as they don't have a ton of college position players in their farm system. Frelick is somebody who has a ton of pop, but is short. Number 6, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Henry Davis, catcher, Louisville. The first college position player off the board here is, or I should say the second college position player off the board here is Davis, who really took his game a whole other level this past year. The D-backs are a team that could be heading for a potential rebuild, and snagging a franchise catcher here potentially would be great. Number 7, the Kansas City Royals, Kumar Rocker, righty, Vanderbilt. The Royals have been going pitching heavy in recent drafts, and here I have them going with the talented pitcher in Rocker. He was drafted a few years ago out of high school, but decided to go to college, and that decision surely paid off as he slated to go at the top of the first round. 8, the Colorado Rockies, Khalil Watson, shortstop, Wake Forest High School, North Carolina. The Rockies go with the possible need pick here with the possibility of Trevor Story getting traded. Watson is somebody that is a great hitter with a ton of power and has a chance to go higher than this. 9, the Los Angeles Angels, Jackson Joby, righty, Heritage Hall High School in Oklahoma. Joby is someone that went from showing flashes to someone that became arguably the best prep pitcher in this draft class. The Angels lack some prep pitching in their farm system, and Joby would be a nice fit. 10, the Miami Marlins, Matt McLain, shortstop, UCLA. This would be a solid pick by the Mets, who could use a college position player in their system. McLain has a solid bat and has some speed, but does not hit for much power, similar to the Angels' David Fletcher. 11, the Washington Nationals, Sam Bachman, righty, Miami of Ohio. The Nationals system can use college arms, and Bachman would be a nice pick here. He is someone that could fly through the minors and could end up being in the big leagues sooner rather than later, and if it doesn't work out as a starter, he could be an elite reliever. 12, the Seattle Mariners, Benny Montgomery, outfield, Redland High School, Pennsylvania. The Mariners are a team that's usually a wild card with draft picks. I can see the M's going in this direction with a wild card player, Montgomery, who's super athletic and has a lot of power. 13, the Philadelphia Phillies, Harry Ford, catcher, North Cobb, Georgia. The Phillies do have JT Realmuto locked up another couple of seasons, so I can see a world where they can think long-term with this pick. Ford has tremendous offensive upside and is a good athlete. 14, the San Francisco Giants, Ty Madden, righty, Texas. The Giants have some options here at this pick, and here I have them going with the college arm in Madden. This team has some nice arms in their system, but a lot of their current rotation arms are veterans who may not be around for much longer, like Johnny Cueto and people like that. 15, the Milwaukee Brewers, Jordan Wicks, lefty, Kansas State. I really would like this pick for the Brewers, who can use some college arms in their system. Wicks has a solid pitch selection, throws for solid speeds, and is an innings eater. 16, the Miami Marlins, Will Taylor, outfield, Dutch Fork High School in South Carolina. The Marlins apparently want a college player here, but Taylor here would be interesting. His athleticism may be too good to pass up here. 17, the Cincinnati Reds, Gunnar Hoagland, righty, Ole Miss. This would be a nice pick for the Reds here. Hoagland recently had Tommy John surgery, and if it wasn't for that, he would have a quick path to the majors and would have certainly gone higher in this draft. 18, the St. Louis Cardinals, Bubba Chandler, right-handed pitcher, shortstop, North Oceany High School in Georgia. The Cardinals are supposedly looking at pitching for this pick, and here I have them taking the two-way talent in Chandler. There is some uncertainty whether Chandler is better off as a shortstop or a pitcher, but Shohei Ohtani is proving that it's conceivable to do both. 19, the Toronto Blue Jays, Anthony Del Castillo, catcher, Miami. This pick may surprise some folks as the Jays tend to go with some prep guys. Del Castillo has some big power and a disciplined approach. 20, the New York Yankees, Colton Cowser, outfield, Sam Houston. Cowser is somebody who really has nice potential and would be a nice fit with the Yanks who could use a college bat. Cowser has a nice lefty swing, but no one is sure what outfield spot he'll turn out to be. 21, the Chicago Cubs. Michael McGreevy, righty, UC Santa Barbara. The Cubs have some choices, and with the second mock draft, I have them going with a talented college arm in McGreevy. He's someone that really broke through this past season due to his stuff and pitchability. 22, the Chicago White Sox. Chase Petty, right, the Mainland Regional High School in New Jersey. The White Sox are a team that loves taking college players, but here I have them going with the opposite. Petty has 3 pitchers that are great and has potential to reach triple digit with his pitches. He would make for a tremendous possible closer down the road. 23, the Cleveland Indians. Joshua Baez, outfield, Dexter Southfield High School in Massachusetts. This time around, I have the Indians going with a prep bat in Baez. High risk, high reward picks don't always play out, but his tools and makeup is what can make it work. 24, the Atlanta Braves. Andrew Painter, righty, Calvary Christina High School in Florida. Painter is somebody that many are struggling to place in mocks, whether it's in the low teens or the low mid-20s. He is one of the better athletes in terms of pitchers in this draft, and he could be a boom or bust prospect. 25, the Oakland Athletics. Trey Sweeney, shortstop, Eastern Illinois. The Athletics love taking college bats, and here I have them taking another one in Sweeney. They do have other options, but Sweeney's a classic ace type of prospect that has a lot of great qualities and aspects about him. 26, the Minnesota Twins. Joe Mack, Williamsville East High School in New York. This is my favorite name of the draft, but as we know, that means 0 when it comes to projecting and analyzing. Mack is someone that's a great two-way catcher, but there's a chance he doesn't sign if he's not picked in the first round. Some people have compared Mack to Joe Mauer. 27, the San Diego Padres. Frank Mazzucato, righty, East Catholic High School in Connecticut. The Padres are pretty much stacked in their farm system, sans graduating some big names recently and being a contender now. Mazzucato is somebody with an interesting arsenal and has different speeds for his pitches. 28, the Tampa Bay Rays. Gavin Williams, righty, East Carolina. The Rays have some choices here, and this second mock draft, I have Williams for them. His improvements of his control and his quality of the breaking ball are encouraging, but health issues could cause a drop. And 29, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ryan Cusick, righty, left Wake Forest. The Dodgers love to take college players, and here I have him going with a college pitcher in Cusick. This is a high-risk pick due to some inconsistencies, but can occasionally hit triple digits when he pitches. All right, so that was a fun mock draft, and now I'm going to talk about the NBA draft lottery and how that played out. And your winner of the draft lottery was not the team that was favored, but the team that had the second best odds, the Detroit Pistons. So congratulations to the Pistons and their franchise and their staff for getting the number 1 overall pick. So Cade Cunningham playing on the Pistons with Killian Hayes and Jeremy Grant. And to me, Detroit and Houston were the 2 teams that needed Cunningham the most, or a franchise guy the most, whether it's him or Evan Mobley, because of the need of that type of player. So congratulations to Detroit. Houston's not a disaster. They could end up with Evan Mobley, who could come in and be a franchise big man for them. And then, so Detroit wins the lottery, moves up a spot, and the Rockets move down a spot. And the 2 teams that moved up that were in the top 10 into the top 4 were the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are picking 3rd, and the Toronto Raptors, who moved up to 4. Good for the Raptors, by the way. I wish they were in the top 2 from a karma standpoint because they were stuck playing the year in Tampa. And that was a team that didn't tank and has a lot of good players on it. They just had bad luck with COVID and the Tampa thing and injuries. So that's why they were in the lottery, or else they probably would have been in the play-in tournament, if not the top 6. And then the Cavaliers tend to get lucky every freaking year, it seems like. But I know they did drop a couple of years ago, so I guess they were due to move up. And then the players that most people seem to think that are going 3rd and 4th would either be Jalen Green or Jalen Suggs, with the slight possibility of Davion Mitchell. And that, to me, is the clear top 5 of this draft. And then Orlando, with their own pick, is at 5. The Thunder go to 6. That's the worst case scenario for the Thunder, moving down to 6. Golden State 7, which gets Minnesota's pick. You know, Golden State was hoping to get at least to the 4th pick, so that pick would become more attractive. And then Orlando again at 8, that gets Chicago's pick because of the Nikola Vucevic deal. Sacramento 9, New Orleans 10, Charlotte 11, San Antonio 12, Indiana 13, and Golden State 14. So the Magic and the Warriors each get 2 picks, as the Bulls, the Timberwolves, and to me the Thunder are the teams that come out the big losers. And to me the winners are the 2 teams in the top 2, the Raptors and the Cavaliers. So those to me are the teams that I would consider winners of the lottery. I think that both Green and Suggs would be good fits respectively on the Raptors and the Cavaliers. And if the Cavs were to go Green, would they trade Sexton or Garland? Because of a boatload at that position. Or maybe they trade the pick and move down. So it's going to be interesting to see what all these teams do. And I think Toronto, there's a chance they trade the pick for a veteran to help them become a contender again. So wouldn't rule that out either. And obviously the 2 teams at the top, Detroit and Houston, are both rebuilding. All right, news and notes for today. We talked about the lottery already, and there's some news that came out this morning that Vanessa Bryant, the widow of the late Kobe Bryant, has agreed to settle a lawsuit against the pilot and owners of the helicopter that crashed last year, killing Kobe, Gianna, and 7 others. This, to me, does not come to a surprise. Vanessa, her children, and relatives of the additional victims filed a settlement agreement notice Tuesday with a federal judge, but the terms of the confidential deal weren't enclosed, and if approved by the court, the settlement would end a negligence and wrongful death lawsuit filed against the estate of the pilot and the owner and operator of the helicopter that crashed into the hillside when that unfortunate and sad crash happened. So I just wanted to get that out of the way because that was the biggest news that dropped within the last half an hour. Alex Caruso arrested for weed as the Lakers guard was arrested and released Tuesday on possession of marijuana and drug charges. So that was reported by The Athletic. So it was only a 1-day arrest. All right, so Nneka Ogwumike got snubbed from the Olympic team in the WNBA, and Derek Fisher was not happy and said that she earned it and she deserves it. And Candace Parker says it's bullshit. So Ogwumike, I think, got snubbed as well. But there's so many good women's basketball players. Somebody good had to be left off. And unfortunately, it was Ogwumike. Lamar Jackson negotiating a new deal as they are working on a monster contract extension without an agent, which is crazy. Wander Franco hit a home run in his first at-bat last night, and his dad went wild. Joey Votto, 1-game suspension after the ejection against the Padres from the weekend. Max Scherzer was upset with the umpires about getting checked for sticky substances after coming off the mound. And then Joe Girardi asked umps to check Scherzer for the sticky stuff again while he was on the mound, and Max was pissed, and then Joe Girardi got ejected. Chris Paul and Kyle Lowry declined invitations to join Team USA. Meanwhile, Drew Holiday has committed to play with Team USA for the summer. Chris Paul thing doesn't surprise me. He's older, and he's somebody that wants to keep his legs rested for next season. And speaking of CP3, the Suns are hopeful that he will be back for Game 3 tomorrow night, which is really, really cool if he were to be back for Game number 3. Jared Butler medically flagged and must get clearance before he can play or practice in the NBA, according to Shams. A Pistons fan had a lottery charm as somebody posted a picture on Twitter of their good luck belt to help Detroit land their number 1 pick, and it worked out. Spencer Dinwiddie cleared for basketball activities after partially tearing his ACL. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. We'll see what kind of contract he gets. Michael Conforto off the injured list for the Mets after missing 33 games with a hamstring injury, so the Mets are starting to get healthy. George Springer came back after missing time with the quad strain. So that's really cool. Saquon Barkley running and cutting as the Giants running back looks like he hasn't lost a step post-ACL surgery. So that's a good sign, but sometimes it takes a while for guys to come back from an ACL injury. So maybe he is 2012 Adrian Peterson. That's the case for the Giants to be good this year. Saquon Barkley literally has to be Adrian Peterson in 2012, if not darn close. Carl Nassib's jersey is a top seller after he publicly came out on Monday, as he had the top jersey both Monday and Tuesday, so that is awesome. No suspension for Matt Barzal, although he was fined $5,000 for cross-checking John Rutta in the game on Monday night. The Harlem Globetrotters want an NBA team as they released a statement after writing a letter to the NBA wanting to become a franchise, so that is interesting. Some coaching news in the NBA. The Pelicans to interview Brooklyn's Jack Vaughn and Milwaukee's Charles Lee for the head coaching job. Jack Vaughn was awful as a coach with the Magic, and Charles Lee has zero experience as an assistant under Mike Budenholzer. And Portland will talk to Mike D'Antoni again as the Nets assistant will get a second interview for the Blazers job. Dior Johnson picks Oregon over Kentucky and Washington as he is considered one of the top prospects of the 2022 class. So that's a big get for Dana Altman in Oregon. And Gerard Gallant had his press conference for being introduced as the Ranger head coach. And he says it's a team that's ready to take off. And he says that he knows that they're going to take a big step, and hopefully it's a big step. And I believe him. He's a good coach. He took a big step in his first year at Florida and his first year at Vegas. Let's see if he does it with the New York Rangers. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Some interesting games to say the least. Best bets have been losers the past couple of days. So I'm going to lay a quarter unit on a total I went with last night, but I'm just going to go with it again. Over 8.5 at -106 between the Rockies and the Mariners for my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything that happened in the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball, College World Series, UEFA, and look ahead to everything going on tomorrow. We'll make a pick for the next PGA tournament, which is the Travelers Championship. So we'll make that pick on tomorrow's show. And obviously, news and notes and best bet as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.